In this video, we will look at two more aspects of the fossil record that scientifically disagrees with the theory of evolution. We've already looked at three different aspects of the fossil record that disagrees entirely with what should be true if evolution were correct. So far we've seen that the intermediate fossils are completely missing. These are the ones that are supposed to show the paths of evolution or show the in-between forms between one creature and another. We've also seen that fossils do not take a long time to form, and in fact in some situations were formed almost instantaneously. And we also saw that the geological column is missing, which is necessary to show that evolution took place. In fact, this is the basis of evolution itself. Now we're going to look at another one here. We have been told that the fossil record shows evolutionary tendencies, that we see plenty of evidence to show that creatures have become larger, stronger, more intelligent, etc., so that they could survive better and evolve, and that this is what the theory of evolution is all about. But what are the scientific facts? That fossils often point to the exact opposite of evolution, rather than evolution itself. The concept of natural selection implies that evolution leads to larger, stronger, and more intelligent creatures, and that these are the ones that survive. The weaker, smaller, more helpless ones would die out and become extinct. But is this reality? Let's take a closer look. Now, several fossils have shown that a number of creatures today are much smaller than in the past ages. For instance, dragonflies had wingspans of 3 feet in the past. Beavers used to be over 10 feet long. Wouldn't Oregon State University like to have that kind of a mascot? And plants that are currently 1 1/2 feet tall were over 100 feet tall in the past. One shark's tooth that was discovered belonged to a shark approximately 100 feet long. And humans have less than 70% of the brain size of the Neanderthals. Now, scientists say that this indicates less intelligence. Now, Neanderthals were supposed to be creatures that we evolved from. And by the way, there are also indications that these creatures were much stronger than humans today. And there are numerous other examples of these kinds of fossils. So, if we use fossils as evidence for the past, then the very opposite of evolution has taken place. Now, besides the fact that there are no fossils to support the theory of evolution, changing from one kind of creature to another, often the ones that do exist actually support the very opposite direction of evolution. Now, another so-called fact of evolution was that each of the layers of strata has certain fossil content, that is, of life forms, that are in it to match the life that lived during that time. All life forms lived in a specific time period or periods according to evolutionists. Some survived longer than others. And that there are no fossils of organisms that died out during one era found in a later one, or creatures that evolved in one era found in earlier layers. In other words, no fossils should ever be found in the wrong strata layers, or this would completely disprove the whole theory of evolution. Well, very few people realize that these out-of-order fossils are fairly common and that they have been discovered throughout the whole world. In fact, they are quite common. For instance, human fossils and artifacts have been discovered in coal seams as well as every major stratum in the geological column. This would imply that man existed long before he was supposed to, according to the theory of evolution. Numerous fossils have been discovered in layers that are, quote, tens of millions of years older than the organisms are supposed to be. One of the most controversial finds has been discovered the Paluxy River near Glen Rose, Texas. And we did discuss some of this in the dinosaur videos earlier. Now, there have been found hundreds of dinosaur fossil footprints in this area, with human footprints crossing. Remember, according to evolution, dinosaurs died out about 63 million years before humans evolved. Evolutionists have simply denied that the human footprints are really human. They may look like human prints, but they are not really human. Or another approach is that these human footprints have been carved out by humans. Dozens of scientists and foot doctors, however, took one of these footprints and examined it very closely. The result? It could have been made only by a human foot. It is rather easy to tell if a footprint is human or not for these scientists and doctors, unless, of course, the footprint has been worn away too much. Human sandal footprints have been even found with trilobites embedded in them. Trilobites are the horseshoe-shaped fossils from just the Cambrian or earliest time period, according to evolution. So this would imply that the very youngest creature, that is humans, existed with the very oldest of creatures, that is the trilobites. This would eliminate the hundreds of millions of years that evolutionists require between the first stages of evolution and the last. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for visiting evosecrets.com.